Hey guys, Disorder Magic here, and I know you may or may not have heard about this, making the rounds on social media, but I just had to make a video about it. Just happened January 9th, actually. A alleged program coordinator, whoever that is, they're remaining anonymous for obvious reasons, made a statement about all the wonderful, sex offenders being found in the judge program, and as store owners, and just places they really shouldn't legally be. So I figured I'd read the statement in its entirety and pretty much poke apart some of the ridiculously misleading statements and just other nonsense in here. So it says, Dear Judge Community, recently the Judge Program has come under attack on social media for having past members convicted of pedophilia, which by the way is not specifically legal, and other sex crimes, which specifically are illegal. I wish you could just lock somebody up for being a pedophile. I mean, when's that law coming into effect? I would love that. But let's focus on the whole they've come under attack. If somebody's calling you out for doing something massively messed up, that's not an attack, okay? That's just typical freaking hyper-liberal leftist SJW, tactics. Call everything an attack. No matter what it is, it's an attack. If some celebrity goes on some, racist tirade on social media and then they get some flack over it, that's not an attack. That's a response, okay? That's what will happen. Letting sex offenders judge events that children are at, that's pretty bad too. In fact, I would dare say that's worse than a racist tirade from Kramer from Seinfeld. I forgot his real name, Michael something. Dude, he got crap about that for years. I think he's still getting crap for that. But that's just one person being a racist idiot. Letting dangerous people around children in real life, that's real shit right there. So anyway, not an attack, and they use the term, I believe, 4 times in this article. They say the judge program, its leaders and its members condemn sexual assault in all forms. Wow, what a brave and controversial stance to take. Really, they even put it in bold, for God's sake. The Judge Conduct Committee, aka JCC, yeah, they capitalized it and put it in parentheses, reviews all cases brought to it, acts upon the information it has provided, and removes offenders from our organization. Now, see, that is true. It's just, why is it up to somebody else's, it's their responsibility, it's their job, it's up to them to report it to feedback.magicjudges.org, which in the next statement they say, okay, if you know of a past situation that you believe the judge program is unaware of, please contact the JCC through the judge feedback form at feedback.magicjudges.org. They also have a Gmail account, by the way, and we will respond to the matter with both the seriousness and the urgency it deserves. Now, see, I don't really doubt that, but it's just, why not prevent the situation in the first place? Instead of somebody telling them, I found out that my opponent or this judge or this, F&M attendee or this store owner was a sex offender, what the hell? Why can't they just prevent them from being a judge in the first place? Why does it have to come down to, oh, I caught them 3 years later or whatever? I mean, as a player and a community member, I'm not saying don't do it, but why is it my fault? Why is it on me? Why is it my responsibility? If I see it, I'm going to report it, but how about you guys stop the problem before it becomes a problem? How about that? Now, another thing they say they aren't necessarily wrong about, and they actually do make a good point here. They say, let's see, however, we want to remind everyone that the judge program is not the police. Now, they're not saying we're not going to police it, in the adjective form, but they're saying they are literally not law enforcement. Any individual suspected of such actions should be reported first and foremost to the proper authorities. Now, see, that's correct because at least in America, they are not allowed, if they're on the sex offender registry, to be near children. They can't be teachers. They can't volunteer at a place with kids. They can't go to an event that might have, I think the terminology is a significant portion or something, whatever, of kids. I mean, it's not like they can't go to the grocery store, because if you go to the grocery store, there's probably going to be kids there, but it's would you go to an event where the suggested age range is 13 plus, and especially at GPs, there's plenty of kids there. I think that would be a parole violation or an offender registry violation. So yes, you absolutely should, if you see it, get the police involved first and foremost. See, I don't think that it's good enough for the judge program to lean on the whole, well, they can't show up and judge after they've been convicted of this or that because that's against their parole, it's a legal violation, whatever. Well, guess what? People break the law. I mean, we have examples. In fact, that's what people were pointing out on social media is, hey, this person was convicted of being some kind of child molester or whatever, and then they, a couple months later, were a judge or a participant or a TO or a store owner at this event. So guess what? Ooh, it's a parole violation. We didn't see that coming. Yeah, people are going to try to get around it. They do all the time, and that's why they go back to jail. Plus, let's not even touch the number of repeat offenses, actual illegal actions, not just, oh, parole violation, you went within 1,000 feet of a school. No, it's They literally molested a second person. So yeah, they're not really going to comply with the laws. And a lot of sex offenders see them as unfair. In some cases, they're right depending upon what they did. Because, you know, apparently 10 is the same as 17 in the law's eye, which is idiotic. But still, the whole, oh, we're not the police, it's not our problem, we're not getting involved, and like all the other connotations to this. No, they should... It shouldn't be, hey, this person showed up to a tournament as a judge, and oh, look, they're on the registry. It should be, oh, look, this person wasn't let into the judge program in the first place. Why should it be, oh, this already happened? Oh, this person already got kidnapped. This person already got molested, which, as far as I know, we've never had an actual, like, crime like that occur at a tournament. I would think that, you know, to say that it's never happened is ridiculous, but that we know of, that's public information that's been reported. I haven't heard anything yet. But they're setting up an unsafe situation. I mean, just because, you know, quote, nothing happened or whatever, it's still an unsafe situation. If you hand an 8-year-old a gun and say, here, go have fun with my pistol, like, just because nothing happened doesn't mean you didn't create an unsafe situation. You're an idiot, and actually, that's a terrible example because technically that isn't illegal unless they actually shoot somebody. But in most cases, like, it would be like negligence or whatever, and that's basically, they are being immensely negligent with this. So they go on to say the recent attacks on social media were an attempt to paint current members of the judge program as criminals in an attempt to embarrass Wizards of the Coast, to incite panic, and to create controversy. Okay, I will admit, we hate you, Wizards of the Coast, and most of the judges and any of their little SJW friends and their happy little SJW fest that they've got with their little approved whitelist. But do you really think that if this was brought to me and Jeremy and Lion and Purple and everybody else's attention, that we wouldn't bring this up and we wouldn't try to fix the problem? Are you kidding me? Unlike you guys, we care about child safety, like more so than personal vendettas. I will do anything to drag Wizards of the Coast's stupid name and their stupid products through the mud. My goal is to have Hasbro come in and gut their entire leadership, get rid of all their executives who are making these idiotic decisions, both game-wise, business-wise, and PR-wise, and just replace them with people who know how to do their jobs and shut up about their personal beliefs. That or the bankruptcy of Wizards of the Coast are my two goals, okay? Yes, I know it shoots myself directly in the foot, but, you know, the right thing needs to be done. Their company is a dumpster fire, and somebody needs to put it out. But aside from that, there's also this wonderful topic of child safety and sex offenders being judges. So can we set aside who the messenger primarily is on this and just, like, do something about the problem? And by the way, the answer is apparently no, because a level 2 or 3, I want to say 3 judge, I saw the screenshot, had a comment on, I think, Reddit or themagicjudges.org, something like that, where they said, hey, this is all a bunch of trumped up nothing, don't go for it, it's just Jeremy, it's all Jeremy's fault. Really? So they're like, don't do anything about it. Don't fall for this. Don't act like it's a real problem because it's all Jeremy. Well, guess what? It is a real problem. We have proof. Here it is in front of your face. Who gives a shit who the messenger was? I mean, they're like, oh no, that building's on fire, but well, we can't do anything about it. I don't care if you disagree with personally or have some kind of vendetta against the person who called in the building fire, put the damn building out. No, we gotta wait for a liberal to report it. We gotta wait for somebody on Wizard staff to report it. No, we're not gonna put the building out. It's a clear and present danger to everybody around it, but you know, we're not gonna do anything until the right person comes out and says it. Oh, and by the way, when they said there was an attempt to paint current members of the judge program as criminals, yes, the ones that have criminal past, that's the only thing I've seen. I don't see like wild random accusations against like judges where they're like, I bet that person's a sex offender. I bet that person's a sex offender. I'm not saying nobody said that, but if they were probably joking. They're probably just trying to get under the person's skin. Nobody's like going full-blown Catholic priest on this where they're like, if you're in the judge program, there's a 50-50 chance that you're a sex offender. And I mean, the nonstop media coverage about Catholic priests, like that got in the back of people's minds now. So if some Catholic priest is like, don't worry, I'll watch your kids while you go run these errands. Maybe you're going to cancel those errands. You know, it's like, what do you really think the real chances are? But then again, that one had like evidence and logic. It had an actual logical progression and reasoning behind it. Catholic priests aren't allowed to marry, so if they're secretly gay or if they're a like sex offender, pedophile, creeper, then they'll have an alibi, they have an excuse. If they become a priest, then, oh, that's why I'm 45 and not married. That's why I haven't been on a date in 20 years. That's the reason. And it's just a cover, so that's where they all go to hide. So an unnaturally high percentage of, sex offenders and creepers and all that will be Catholic priests. It's a logical thing. Now, is it even higher than 1% of them? Probably not, but it's just there's real evidence there. And, people still play the Powerball, you know what I mean? Even if it's long odds, it's your kid's safety. So I don't think we're quite at the point where it's like, oh, judge equals sex offender because we caught 1,000 of them in the program or something. I mean, what is it at like now? 10, 20? That's probably the same level as like teachers and like volunteers in children's groups and foster parents and stuff like that. I mean, everybody knows that in any given group of society, X amount of them are going to be pedophiles. That's just reality. It's not friendly. It's not happy. I don't want to think about it, but it's true and you got to be aware of it. So like I said, I don't think it's above the baseline numbers for the judge program. I don't see any logical link there. So they seem to be implying that we're all painting all judges or certain individuals that don't deserve it as criminals. No, we're literally calling out criminals, posting the court documents. They are criminals. And I mean, the whole, incite panic and create controversy. Yes, having sex offenders at your events with children is controversial. Little bit. I mean, 99% of people are probably against that. So if you really still want to call it a controversy, but incite panic, I mean, to an extent, I mean, we're not trying to exaggerate and overblow it. We're not saying, oh my God, pedophiles everywhere. We're just saying this exists, it shouldn't exist, and it's fixable. We're trying to push the narrative of Wizards royally screwed up. They're actively trying to cover it up because they are. And something needs to be done about this. We need to fix the situation. Not everybody panic. Oh my God, everybody quit Magic. No, we're just fix it for God's sake. And yes, it is based on, personal issues that we have with Wizards. But like I said, you think we wouldn't be reporting on it if we loved Wizards? Oh, I don't think so. Well, maybe if I was almost legally and monetarily required to kiss Wizards' ass like Brian and Wedge, then I wouldn't be reporting on it. Actually, no, I would just burn my whole channel to the ground, tell Wizards to fuck off and report on it anyway. You know why? Because this is important. Like my personal income and the status of my channel and getting promos and shoutouts from Wizards would be lovely, but this is way the fuck more important than just me and my personal finances. That's why I know this is getting demonetized. I don't give a shit. This is the truth. This is helping people. This is making a bad situation go away, so I'm going to keep making videos about it. But that isn't to say that the very next thing after Wizards eventually hopefully fixes this problem and implements the most strict blocks to keep these creepers out of the fucking judge program, the very next thing will be dragging their name through the mud and destroying their company from a PR standpoint and the media standpoint for the next thing that they're fucking up. I mean, Jeremy's on stage 4 out of his 26-part plan to completely and utterly destroy Wizards of the Coast or force a distinct change to their corporate policies and corporate culture. Yeah, that's our end goal, but I personally feel like this is completely separate from that. It's convenient. I'm happy that they're getting bad PR, but I would much rather they stop getting bad PR and, us winning or however you want to refer to it, and they just fix the damn problem so that children aren't getting, harassed or anything else. So anyway, they say the former judges named in public as pedophiles were all decertified as soon as the program learned about their crimes. Some of them were no longer active judges when this happened. Okay. Is that about the most misleading statement I've heard in this entire article so far? As soon as they learned about it, in other words, literally 3 days ago, I am not kidding. And by the way, from Jeremy, so there's that. They're acting like the second that the person got convicted, they were kicked out. That is not true. In fact, they admitted in the next sentence where they say some of them were no longer active judges when this happened. Well, guess what? Some of them were. Well, thanks for admitting it at least. I mean, people can invert that statement pretty damn easily and be like, wait a minute, you mean to say that some of them were active judges after getting convicted and being in a free public database of sex offenders? Are you kidding me? So that's just meant to be like, oh, it's all nothing. We decertified them immediately. No, you didn't. Some of them were proven to be active judges months after they were convicted. And yes, it's a parole violation. Yes, they were illegally around kids, but yes, you did nothing to stop it. That's our problem with you right now, judge program. Let's read the rest of this BS. The attacks also included the unauthorized publication of the name, city, and DCI number of over 1,600 judges currently listed as level 2 and level 3. The file was published along with a call to investigate into the personal lives. No, just criminal history of everyone on the list to find any criminals. You just said what I just said. Personal lives to criminals. Pick one, because we're not spying on them outside their house. We're not hacking their goddamn Facebooks. Oh my God, they negated their own damn statement. That file has already been reported and removed. I have no idea what they're talking about. But obviously, oh, that's right. It was a Google Doc. So they filed a privacy complaint or some bullshit. It's public information anyway. I'm 99% sure. But obviously some copies of it may exist on private devices. Yeah, they do. They do. Not saying I have one. Actually, coincidentally, I actually don't have a copy. But I got to read this in its entirety here. The program coordinators, together with the other leaders of the judge program, are looking into this issue, and we would like to share some thoughts with you. We condemn the publication of this information. We find it extremely inappropriate, and we understand that many feel that their privacy has been violated. The only information that was taken was in the spreadsheet that was already published. We have seen some judges express concerns about email addresses and passwords. The user who leaked this information only copied it from the judge list, which, once again, I'm pretty sure is public, by the way. Nothing else was compromised. The leak was not the result of unauthorized database access, so nobody hacked their judge database server, but rather a violation of the social standards around using information on the judge list. Literally, the only thing people are doing is saying, these people are judges. Can we get some volunteers to look up their names one at a time in the sex offender registry? That's it. That is all people are doing. They're not, everybody on this list is a sex offender. Nobody's saying that. So considering the only use of this publicly available information is a violation of your social standards, and your social standards are people can't background check these people for safety in a public database, I can go look up my neighbor. I could get a full paid background check on him. That's not illegal. In fact, I should. The guy's weird as shit. And my last apartment, I background checked those fuckers when I accidentally got some of their mail in my mailbox. I put it back in theirs, but I wrote down their first and last name and looked them up. Not illegal. But they're not even saying illegal. They're saying it's a violation of social standards. What the fuck social standards say that I can't check to make sure that the people that my kids are playing with at events are not sex offenders? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now, judge program? That's socially inappropriate to you. That's not a proper use of their first and last name and their zip code or whatever the fuck was on this spreadsheet. What a load of shit. You're basically saying that we're not allowed to just do a safety check on somebody's first and last name. In fact, we could verify that people one at a time on the list do not have a criminal history and are not sex offenders. We're actually doing those people a favor. So if judges are concerned about email addresses and passwords, which no, those weren't included, which they said it's not the result of unauthorized database access. This was just a list of publicly available information. In fact, they call it public information, I think, once in this article. And in fact, people can look up this information to find judges in their area. I mean, let me just read the next part. It says, in your profile on judge apps, which is a thing, I guess, you can set your location to hidden. Before doing this, remember that we allow our location to be searchable, and your first and last name, if I'm not mistaken, within judge apps so that tournament organizers and other judges can find us. Additionally, your email address is not displayed. So they remind people not to change their email address to an invalid one because that wasn't leaked. I don't think the email addresses were anywhere in that information. I think it was just first and last names and where they live or something like that. Which, once again, according to whatever the hell this judge apps thing is, you can search and find people's information. I mean, unless you mark yourself as hidden, which... it's like, what's the point then at that, why? Like, I was going to say there's no secret judges out there, but apparently there are secret judges out there. They just mark their account to hidden. But if they don't, anybody can find your name and where you are. That's the point. That's the point of being a judge, actually, pretty much. So, oh no, your publicly available first and last name personal info just went from public to public. Oh no, breach of security, which they said it's not. What a bunch of exaggerated bullshit, but I'm still just fuming over the whole, it's a violation of social standards using this information on the judge list this way. How dare we make sure kids are safe or check that people aren't criminals? Something that everybody gets done to them when they apply for any job anywhere. What a load of shit. Anyway, if you're concerned that your DCI number might be used for tournament fraud, this whole paragraph has nothing to do with anything going on. That's people going to a tournament using your Planeswalker points or whatever, getting free buys using your name or something, I don't know, or cheating and then you're the one who gets suspended because they claim they're you. That whole entire section has literally not one goddamn thing to do with anything, other than I think that the DCI numbers were like, there's now a public list of 1,600 DCI numbers with the first and last name. I could see that being a problem. I could see people attempting to enter a tournament using that name, but it's going to be a problem when they write out the prize money, check, obviously. So, okay, I get that people would be a little bit irked about that, but I mean, wasn't their DCI number and their first and last name public anyway before? I don't know. I don't use this judge app thing. So finally, they end with, finally, let's keep perspective. Yeah, no, you guys have no perspective. The main priority of the judge program must be to keep qualified and trustworthy group as a group of people as certified judges. Okay, well, you're not doing that. It's not even on your priority list, let alone the number one priority, to make sure that it's a group of trustworthy people and qualified. I guess they do kind of make sure of that, but trustworthy? I mean, sex offenders are not trustworthy. Let me just throw that one out there. And you are doing nothing, not one thing to make sure that your judges are, well, trustworthy. That whole statement was just a lie. It was just an absolute lie. It's not a main priority. It's not a secondary priority. It's not a priority. They are taking no action whatsoever. They even put this in bold. Some individuals, due to past crimes or legal regulations, like not being allowed around kids, are not suitable to be judges. Yes, that is a fact. Good job for you for admitting it. Now do something about it. The program has systems to deal with those situations. Once again, they're referring to, hey, I myself looked up this person. They've been a judge at my F&M for a year and they're a convicted sex offender. I'm notifying the police and I'm notifying you. They will do something about it. Those are the systems that they're talking about to deal with these situations. What they don't have is a system to prevent these situations. Instead of catching somebody who's been a judge and a convicted sex offender for years, I'd rather you check them on the way into the program and then tell them to fuck off and just ban their DCI account for life if they are found out to be a sex offender. How about that as a concept? Then I wouldn't have to go report it years later. Which, might I remind you, is not my fucking job. It's your responsibility, not mine. So for them to state that they're mad that somebody leaked an entire list of judges so that we can all volunteer to look up the names one at a time, that's ridiculous. We're doing your fucking job for you. You should be thanking us. Well, in fact, they say this program has systems to deal with those situations. If you know about any of those cases, please report it to feedback.magicijudges.org. Once again, reinforcing the whole we have systems to deal with it. Yeah, after the fact, after somebody gets kidnapped, after somebody gets spied on with a hidden camera in a bathroom. Yes, that happened. It says, as all of us should collaborate to guarantee that all certified judges are respectable and able to contribute to a better gaming environment, which I'm just going to take a wild guess that they would exclude sex offenders from that. So we should all collaborate. Okay, well then why do you have a problem with us getting that list? Because that's what we're doing. We're collaborating. We're all getting together to do your job for you, like I said. So many contradictions in this ridiculous, disgraceful, misleading article. Whoever wrote this should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, this is like tobacco level double speak and misleading bullshit and just, oh God. It makes me sick just reading this thing. So finally, judges who support and foster a welcoming and safe environment must feel protected from harassment and unfair treatment. Okay, then have a certification process to say that all judges in the program are 100% proven to not be sex offenders. Then they'll be free from suspicion and harassment and, well, unfair treatment. I mean, honestly, just taking somebody's name and making sure they're not a danger to the people around them, that's not unfair treatment. That's perfectly fair treatment. People could look up my name all the time if I'm a judge. I mean, great. I got nothing to hide and I didn't do anything. I have literally no criminal history whatsoever. Then they say the judge program must provide a safe environment for the judges too. Okay, you name one judge that's been falsely accused of being a pedophile. And let me add a little caveat to this, non-jokingly. A certain Canadian judge has been a bit of a punching bag, but nobody was actually serious about it. And actually, didn't they say something about unfair treatment? Yeah, he deserved all the hate he got for the ridiculous statements and the targeted harassment. Judges are expected to behave at a higher standard, and the judge program must be able to count on members with high level of integrity. Well, then do some goddamn background checks, for fuck's sake. Do something about it. You can't just say something. You have to take action. You can't just say, oh, we're a high integrity, blah, blah, blah. What? Do something, for God's sake. Enforce it. So in conclusion, fuck the judge program, fuck Wizards of the Coast, fuck whoever wrote this, and pretty much fuck everything at this point. Apparently you guys like that sign off. I'm going to make that my new channel motto. I'm going to have to get rid of the thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next video part. I think that other one's a little bit more catchy. But then again, I do want to kind of keep ads on this video. Well, maybe not this video specifically, but future videos. And actually with the inconsistent enforcement, I guarantee this is probably going to have ads on it. The demonetization bot's been a little bit inaccurate lately. So if you take the entirety of this article, it's pretty much lying to people without outright, making an untrue statement, but it's very, very misleading statements. No personal responsibility, no admission of guilt for causing this situation, no promise to fix anything unless you yourself do the investigation and report it to them. Channel Fireball recently announced that 100% of staff members involved in a tournament or their company at all is going to be background checked. But actually, I mean, when you hire someone, you background check them. That's what a company does. But also it goes to judges, which are not employees apparently legally. Or apparently independent contractors. They're literally just volunteers. Compensated volunteers. Odd how that works. So no, it's not a big conspiracy. It's not a whole bunch of nothing. It's not just trying to smear the name of Wizards in the judge program. This is a real problem. You're really not fixing it, so fuck you until you fix it. Sincerely, every reasonable member of the community in the game, okay? All of your customers, Wizards. Fix this so we can all move on to the next stage of trashing your name, Wizards. You made a mistake and you're gonna pay for it. I promise you that. See you guys next video.